Good morning. Good morning. I'd like to call the annual business meeting to order. If we could have the invocation by Harrison Luke. Yes, please stand. Harrison's not here yet? Then I will do it myself. We can bow our heads. Most holy and all-wise one, we come this morning just asking you to bless the Virginia Association of Counties, asking Heavenly Father that you would just be with us and help us to make wise decisions. We ask this in your Son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
You may be seated. Oh, I'm sorry. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I would like to declare that a quorum is here. We have at least 39 counties registered. Next on the on the agenda are the minutes of the business meeting. You've had a chance to read them. I'd like a motion to...
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded.
You have a little typo there. It should say Pledge of Allegiance.
On the beginning of the minutes, I believe we put Pledge Allegiance. It should be Pledge of Allegiance. It was a typo. So with that change, does the motion still stand?
Stand.
The second still stands? Yes. All in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Opposed? Ayes have it, and it passes. Next, we have the President's report. You know, it's hard to believe that the year has gone since I was sworn in as VACo President. It was truly an honor to serve, and I thank you for trusting me to represent you this past year. I'm proud of what VACo has accomplished this year, and I'm excited about our future as an association, because I'm excited about local government, and I know that what we can achieve together. This year was very interesting for me. As most of you all probably heard, if you didn't know already, I had an accident. Me between a car. Well, I wasn't in a car, I was walking, and he just backed into me. And so I thought things would kind of come to a stop and I wouldn't be busy, but Dean and everyone else on the board found a way to keep me busy, and I'm thankful for that, because this year was just, it was just exciting for local government. And I know that we had a special opportunity to get to know many of you all and know you better, and to learn about what we're doing in your communities. And as you probably know that if you've been reading your VACo newsletter, we went out just about to every region. We talked about community programs that you had, and I really think that if you look and you keep reading those newsletters, you can adopt some of those things in your own communities and make them great. As I said, this was a busy year at VACo, and I'm proud of what we were able to accomplish. I want to reflect on a couple of things. We had some important legislative successes. Although it took a few months, the state budget was passed in 2018, and it invests resources in core local services like K-12 education. We have a long way to go to strengthen our partnership with the state, but the budget is an important step in the right direction. We fended off threats to local taxing authority, and we were able to reclaim some of our ability to collect property taxes on large solar installations in the future. We are continuing to work on top priorities for the next session, such as broadband expansion in underserved areas, through public outreach such as our op-ed in the Richmond Times-Dispatch promoting our blueprint for broadband. This year, we also branched out into new ways to improve our educational offerings for VACo members. We hosted several webinars, launched a new blog, and started a podcast. Last year, staff redesigned space on the third floor of the VACo building, and this year we've made very good use of it to offer the Certified Supervisor sessions as well as the Chairman's Institute. We also continue to enhance our larger educational events. I know many of you attended the Supervisors Forum, excuse me, which helped to give local officials a foundation of knowledge on state and local government. We were proud to host 2 U.S. Senate candidates and 2 congressional candidates at our August County Official Summit, an event that we continue to develop as a must-attend stop on the campaign trail for candidates. I'm pleased to report on an educational project that is particularly close to my heart, my Healthy Virginia County's presidential initiative. My goal in foregrounding community health this year dovetails very nicely with the theme of the conference, and it emphasized on preparing counties for the future. Such an important part of the future of our Commonwealth will be ensuring that all people in all corners of Virginia have the chance to live long, healthy lives. In other words, looking out for the old sense of the common weal or the welfare of the entire community. Learning about and sharing information on the innovative approaches that counties are taking to improve community health was so exciting to me. I always knew that counties were resourceful, but this project has given me a new appreciation for the determination and passion and the ingenuity with which county leaders are tackling one of the most major problems of our time. In closing, I want to thank all of you for supporting me, for educating me, and for inspiring me. I want to offer special thanks to the Executive Committee and to the Board for their support. I also want to thank my fellow King and Queen County Supervisors. I owe a debt of gratitude to the VACo and King and Queen County staff. I couldn't have done all I did this year without you. Last but not least, my deepest gratitude goes to my family. As always, my mother, who's, of course, my rock. You've probably seen her for the last 30 years attending this conference. And I want to thank my sister Pam, who came along this year for the first time, since I wasn't sure whether I was going to be able, how well I was going to be able to get along. She was my legs, a lot of it, and as well as one of my drivers. And I just want to say, I know that the president-elect is going to do a fantastic job. I think that I know that Tim is ready to step in, and I wish him all the best, and I know that the association is in good hands. Thank you. Next on the list, on the agenda, is the financial report, and I'll turn it over to Donald Hart, our treasurer.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam President. For those who don't know me, my name is Donald Hart. I am your Secretary Treasurer. I wanted you to meet me. I want to introduce you also to the financial team and sing their praises to let you know a few things first. First, Vicki. Vicki is just magical. I don't know if you know her or not. You'll have to watch her sometime working with numbers. She's magical, wonderful. Dean is very fantastic himself working with the finances. But your budget committee is Craig Meadows from Montgomery, Lawrence Simpson from King and Queen, Billy Kiger from Rockingham, Steve Bowen from Nottoway, and myself. And I want you to know that your budget committee worked very hard. We're working with the budget and the investments and numbers all year long, and I want to praise them for the hard work they do also. I want you to know that VACo is very strong financially. We ended the year in the black again. Everything is very good with that. This committee is watching, monitoring not only the income, but the expenses and your investments. We had a good audit this year. The audit was very clean, no problems with it. We're going to have this beautiful lady over here from Robinson, Farmer and Cox come up in a second. But I wanted you to know that we're financially strong, and your committee takes a conservative approach to your finances. What we do is we watch and monitor the budget conservatively, the investments conservatively, to make sure that our expenses and our income match. And we always want to have a little money left at the end of the year, don't want to overspend. So your investments will be protected. So we're trying to do that to make sure that VACo's money is well managed. Right now, I'd like to introduce to you Ann Wall from Robinson Farmer Cox, if you'll come up, Ann. She'll give you a report of the audit. Hi, Aaron.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here today to report to you on the association's financial audit for the year ended June 30th, 2018. Your association is required to have an annual audit performed each year. It's in accordance with your written bylaws, and the results of the audit are required to be presented to the board and to the membership, much like local government audits are required to be presented to the board of supervisors each year. I'm pleased to report also that your association received an unmodified or clean opinion on its financial statements, which is the, if you all are aware of the terminology, that's the cleanest, that's the highest opinion that you can receive is an unmodified or clean opinion. Your audit was conducted in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards. An audit does include performing procedures and examining audit evidence about amounts that are reported in the financial statements and the disclosures in the financial statements, the footnote to the financial statements, reviewing the investments and the debt. We also review, as part of an audit, we review internal controls, we review the accounting policies and procedures and the internal control elements each year as part of that audit. We did not issue a management letter this year. We did propose a few adjusting entries that have been posted to the books of the association and included in the year-end financial reports. In the packet of information that you all received, I think at the front end of the conference, there was a one-page snapshot of the financial information of VACo for each of the last 3 years. You can see that the financial position is strong. The net assets, which equates to the fund balance of a local government, has increased in each of the last 3 fiscal years. To end, I think at the end of this year, it was $5.9 million was the net asset or the fund balance at the end of the year. And that certainly includes the value of the building that your association owns in downtown Richmond. That really concludes my comments. At Robinson Farmer Cox, we appreciate the opportunity to serve as the auditors for the association, and we really value the professional relationships that we have with many of the members of the association, and we enjoy being part of your conference each year. Thank you.
Madam President, with that report, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the audit for this year.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor? I'm sorry, yes? You have a question?
Are you asking for any discussion? Or are you just voting it through?
We'll take discussion.
Yes.
Okay. So I have a question. Is VACo a 501c3 or not?
No.
Okay. So it's good, all the asset financial accumulation. I guess, how are we able to have a 10, 25% increase in terms of assets over the last 3 years? I'm just trying to understand the background on this all. I mean, I know the building is a big component. It's $4 million out of the $5.9 million. How do the assets and the investments continue to increase?
We continue to build on our business services and our sponsorships, and the more of the sponsorships, the more of the business services that we negotiate, we come to marketing agreements with, that increases the revenue coming into the association. We take that revenue and we invest it, keep investing it. We've had some good investments over the last several years.
Yeah. So
it's continuing to rise. This year, just the business services, the marketing piece that we do, has increased over 300% in the last 2 years.
Okay.
We're just trying, what we're trying to do is we're trying to be a very solvent organization.
And that's what it demonstrates, but as a recipient of funds from local governments, just to make sure it wasn't the appearance that, you were, the money that is being paid isn't being used for the intended benefit, in terms of, facilitating better interactions with legislators, Commonwealth of Virginia, et cetera, and not into the pockets of VACo.
Right. Thank you for your question, because what that really does is that gives me a chance to say that, we are not a 501c3. We
And I
are
asked a
truly,
couple of people, some people thought you were, and that's
No.
why I wanted clarity.
no, we are truly an instrumentality of local government. And we're set out in the code that way. But we also have a for-profit company. It's a 501, we have a for-profit company, which is VACo Services. And we pay tax on the investments, the
Okay.
investment revenue.
Thank you for that clarification, because on the surface, I wasn't getting that, and there seemed to be, not a real clear picture among some folks that I had asked in the audience and whatnot, so I
Thank you for
appreciate
your
your time, Dean.
There's a motion on the floor. All in favor of accepting and approving the financial report, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? And the ayes have it, and it passes. Next on the agenda is the General Counsel's report. We'll ask our General Counsel, Phyllis Arrigo, to come forward.
Thank you, Madam President and members. This has been a busy year, but a good year legally. I've continued to focus on acting as a resource on legal issues to our executive committee, our board of directors, our executive director and staff, and especially to our member counties through their elected officials, administrators, and their county attorneys. I work closely with the local government attorneys of Virginia, and I'm an active member in several of their subcommittees. And every year, for as long as I've been here, which is a long time, we've been invited as part of their spring program to report on the progress of legislative issues that affect localities. And I'm pleased to do that on behalf of VACo. I want to talk about our publications and resources for a moment, because we have something really exciting happening right now. We continue to offer several publications as a resource to localities, including the board meeting procedure booklet, which is a small booklet that we update every year with changes in the law, and it's very helpful for running a meeting. But our signature resource is the Virginia County Supervisor's Manual. And this manual is the big black book that I think many of you have, and it contains information on all the different areas that you address as leaders in your county. And the last time this was revised was 2006. And I've been working for the last year with the law firm of Sands Anderson, who we have partnered with, and they have spent a lot of long hours working on this in conjunction with many of your county attorneys in revising this. And I have one more sort of Passover edit to do, but I hope to have this available, the newest version for County Government Day. And it is really an important publication and a resource for our members, so I'm very excited to be able to tell you about that today. And this concludes my report, Madam President.
Thank you, Phyllis. Can I have a motion to accept the General Counsel's report?
So moved.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, and it has been accepted. Next, we have the Executive Director's report.
Thank you, Sherrin. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, I know it's early. Did I hear anybody say good morning back?
Good morning. Morning.
Thank you. Let me thank you for giving me the privilege to serve as your executive director. I think we have had a great conference this year. I don't know if you've noticed, but look in the sessions that we've had a lot of top issues that have been discussed. They were really overflowing if you've been to any of them. We had to bring in chairs for a couple of them. This year we've had over 860 participants to the conference. We are about even what we've done the past couple of years, but those of you that were in the exhibit hall may have thought that declining a little bit on the exhibits, but no, we weren't. We opened it up a little bit, and we're trying to do things a little different. Did anybody get to the exhibit hall? Did anybody win a prize? All right. We're doing something different. We're not doing a raffle at the end of this business meeting. What we're doing is we're doing it all in the exhibit hall to push more of our people in the exhibit hall. It makes our vendors happy, and so we can fill up the vendor booths a whole lot easier. This year, we're also, if you've noticed, we had a dessert social. A little different this year. Did anybody miss the Cherries Jubilee at dinner? Or did you enjoy the time to socialize over the desserts? So, we just need a little bit more chocolate. We need to fine tune it a little bit. We need to get rid of the line, but that's all to come. So it's the opportunity for us to do something different, do something new. But we couldn't do all that, and we couldn't put on this conference without staff. And so I'm just going to take a minute to recognize the staff that we've got here. We've got a great team, I think, at VACo. Let me begin by Phyllis Rico, our General Counsel. Vicki Steinberg, Vicki does all of our financials and investments. Valerie Russell, Valerie, and many of you saw Valerie at the registration table. Angela Inglet, Angela, where are you at? Okay. Katie Boyle, one of our lobbyists. Joe Lurch, one of our lobbyists. Gabe Carter, Communications. Chris McDonald, one of our lobbyists. John Canders, IT, keeps everything running. Cheryl Cameron, Member Services, Exhibit Hall. And Jeremy Bennett. Many of you have met Jeremy. He's a new staff person we have brought in to work on education issues. He's not here right now, but he will be here from now on. Also want to recognize Tom Spong and Pamela Flynn. They're kind of the unsung heroes of what we do. They put together the conference. They kept us on time. They got enough seats. They dealt with the heat and the cooling and really the program management. So I want to thank Tom and Pamela for doing that. But we also had many other volunteers. I know Valerie's daughter helped. I know my wife helped. We had a couple of kids from, I think it was JMU that helped on the front desk. So with all those people, I think we've put on a good conference. We've leveraged all the manpower that we could, or woman power that we could to put on this. And we think that hopefully you've had a good time and seen a good conference. But we won't know that until you fill out your evaluation forms. So hopefully fill out your evaluation forms, put them in the box, let us know what we did good, what we did bad, and what we can improve on. So that's very important for us. Let me quickly talk about the VACo year in review. I'm not going to get into a lot of things. I think Sherrin had discussed a lot of stuff that we had done, but we have 4 planks that we focus on in our strategic plan with VACo. The first is advocacy. We've had a full year this past session of a new budget, a new biennial budget, a long session, over 3,000 bills put in. VACo probably touched about 2,800 of those bills legislatively, with issues everything from solar to land use, to cell towers, to economic development, to education issues. We want to be viewed as your lobbyist in Richmond, so you have an issue, come to us. We find patrons, we put budget amendments in, and we work very hard during the session. The other plank that we have in our platform is education. Many of you are involved in our education programs. We did a new supervisors forum this year. We did a Chairman's Institute. We have a certified supervisors program. You're going to hear a little bit more later about it. So we have many educational opportunities, and even at this conference. So please take advantage and know that we're trying to do our best in trying to provide quality education as your state association. The third plank, member engagement. Many of you were involved in our regional meetings this year. We had 9 regional meetings which touched on 10 different VACo regions throughout the state. Now that's a lot of work. We put these regional meetings on. They were about 2 hours and a half each. We take these regional meetings to your localities. So this year we had probably 10 regions, I guess, 10 regions overall. Next year we're going to pick up where we left off. We're going to start early in May, maybe April this year, if we can get them all in. We like to finish all the regional meetings by the fall. So if you would like for us to come out to your locality, to your region, let us know. we would welcome the invitation, and we'll try to get it worked out this coming year. Business services, you've already heard me talk about the business services with the question that was asked. Thank you for the question. But we have increased our business partnerships over 320% over the last 2 years. I think that's yeoman's work. That's a lot of work done by our staff, and just trying to develop these contracts and these business agreements so that we can increase the revenue coming to the association. But now, it is time, this time of year, it's time to end this conference, it's time to adopt our legislative program going forward. So what we're looking for next is legislation, General Assembly. Beginning in January, we know we've got a rough road to hoe. This is a short session coming up. We've got the part 2 of the biennial budget coming out. We know the governor's budget is going to be presented in December. So we're going to be looking for patrons. We're going to be looking for patrons to do budget amendments for us, and we're going to be relying on you. Advocacy really for VACo and for Virginia counties begins at home. So we need your involvement. We need your help. We're identifying issues today that we're going to go forward on, but we need you to participate and talk to your legislators back home. We need you to call us. We need us to call you, and we need some action. Really, it's grassroots advocacy that really makes the difference with VACo and with county issues. So with that, I would encourage you to, if you have not filled out a steering committee form, fill out a steering committee form. We want you to be involved in VACo. VACo is what you want to get out of it. If you just want to come and just go to a few meetings and sit around, and we hope that you've enjoyed that, but we really want you to get involved with our association. We need you. So with that, Madam President, I'm finished with the executive director's report.
Thank you, Dean. I don't believe we need to accept that report. I don't think so either. Okay, next we have committee reports. We have the Credentials Committee. I know the chairperson is out sick, and we were praying for John Jenkins, but I believe that Judy Little, one of our past presidents, will be coming forward for the credentials.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is my pleasure to be able to stand before you and give the credential report, and we are praying for Mr. John Jenkins. He's always with us, and we have certainly missed him this year. Madam President, I am pleased to report that 94 counties have paid their dues and are eligible to vote this year. The Credentials Committee met yesterday afternoon and determined that 89 counties are properly credentialed to cast a total of 161 votes out of a possible 166 votes in today's meeting. On behalf of the Credentials Committee, which included Mr. John Jenkins of Prince William County, Randolph Jefferson of Isle of Wight County, and Mr. Lauren Yoder of Floyd County, we appreciate the opportunity to serve. And this is respectfully submitted by Judy Little, Surrey County, serving as chairperson.
Thank you, Judy. If I can have a motion to accept the credentials report.
So moved.
Second. It's been moved and properly second. All in favor, signify by aye. Aye. Opposed? And it has been accepted. Next, we have the Resolutions Committee. Our immediate, I have a couple more minutes. Yes, President.
Good morning. Good morning. The Resolution Committee met yesterday morning. You have at your seats the platform, 2019 platform, and the revisions to it. And it is recommendation and motion from the Resolution Committee to approve this, the 2019 platform.
Sit down anyway. The resolution committee has come forward and submitted their report. Do I hear
So moved.
a motion? It's been moved. Do I hear a second? It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, and the resolutions committee report has been accepted. Are there any other committees that I don't have on my list that are prepared to report? Okay. If not, we have the adoption of our legislative platform. I'm going to let Dean come forward. Has everyone had a chance to read and go over the platform?
Madam Chair, we have copies if anybody needs copies of our platform. Please raise your hand.
Please raise your hand if you need a copy. Now, these are just the amendments that have been made to the program that are being passed out. You should have received the others in the mailing that went out. These are the amendments. They're coming in yellow paper. Do I hear a motion to adopt the 2019 legislative program? It's been moved and properly seconded. Any questions?
Second.
Second.
Just a question in terms of procedure. How many, what is our voting? You said 39 above, but there's 89. I heard Ms. Lytle say there's 89 counties that are eligible.
To vote, but we
Right.
needed a quorum of at least 39.
Yes.
So that's less than half of the eligible counties? What is it, is it quorum, what's the percentage associated with the quorum? 30, I'm just, I apologize if it's out of order, but, you know, I'm just trying to understand, because we seem to be, you know, for those of us that maybe haven't been here since the homestead was built, it's a learning process.
Let's see what.
According to our bylaws, 2/5 of the member counties in good standing are entitled to constitute a quorum.
About 40%. 2/5, you said, right?
2/5. I have to get my calculator out.
Yeah, we can get you a set of bylaws. I know.
Okay.
We'll be happy to provide bylaws. If you think it would make, if it would be beneficial, we can provide bylaws in the packet from every meeting from here on out.
Just a thought, and again, you seem to, maybe I'm the only one that's concerned with procedure, but,
We're very transparent. We'd love to share the bylaws with the member.
okay.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor that we adopt the 2019 legislative platform. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? We pass. Next, we have the nominating committee report, and I'd ask Penny Rose to come forward.
Thank you, Madam President. Perhaps I'm the last person to actually formally say Madam President, and I'm very pleased to be able to say that. The nominating committee has 13 members, one from each of the regions, and there were 11 members attending our nominating committee yesterday afternoon. Our responsibility is to nominate a candidate for president-elect, for first vice president, for second vice president, and secretary-treasurer to be elected at the annual business meeting. We also have the regional directors also, but I will give those to you now. The nominating committee report. For president, Tim Reeves, Wythe County. President-elect, Steve Bowen, Nottaway County. First vice president, Jeff McKay, Fairfax County. Second vice president, Meg Bomke, Stafford County. Secretary-treasurer, Donald Hart, Accomack County. And immediate past president, Sherrin, Alsop, King and Queen County. As nominating committee, we are trying very hard to make sure that we are including urban, suburban, and rural counties in our leadership. The regional directors, which are selected by the various regions, there are a few changes to some of them, but not all of the regions needed to have new members today. Region 1 is William McCarty from Isle of Wight. Region 3, Frank Thornton, Henrico. Region 5, Ann Malik, returning from Albemarle County. Region 6, Terry Catlett, a new member from Clark County. Region 7, Jim Crozier from Orange County. And Region 7, Paul Trampy would be returning from Spotsylvania. Region 8, Dan Stork and Sharon Bulova both from Fairfax County will be returning. Region 8, Ruth Anderson from Prince William will be a new member of the directors. Region 8 also from Loudoun County, Phyllis Randall will be returning. Region 8 from Arlington County, Eric Gutschall will assume that role. Region 11, Bill Thomason will be returning from Bedford County. And Region 12, Adam Kidd will be returning from Bland County. Past presidents who are also on the board will be myself from Fairfax County, Judy Little from Surrey, and Mary Biggs from Montgomery County. Harrison Moody will be rotating off of the past presidents list, but will be remaining on the board of directors as the NACO representative. Madam Chairman, I would move approval of the nominating committee report and the election of those that I've described. Thank you.
You have heard the report from the nominating committee. Is there any,
I second the
is
report.
there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. We have a new slate of officers. Okay, if I can have all of the officers come forward so that you can be sworn in. We're not there yet? No, we're not there yet. Let me look at my agenda. They just told me we're not there.
Madam Chairman?
Yes.
One of the order. I think we did not mention the person who was a resident of NACO. Yeah.
Yeah, they said,
It
was Ms. Harrison
Ex
up there.
officio member of the board, the person who's Ruby.
oh, Ruby.
Ms. Brabo is she's on the.
But she
not-
didn't change.
She didn't change. She still continues on the board, ex officio.
Just like Region 2
Just like
didn't have
several.
anybody because it was a time to elect yet. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody understand that? There only certain members had to be elected. Again, some were serving or still serving regular terms. Their term isn't up yet. Okay, so we have now a slate of officers. Are there any, do I have to open up each one? Okay, I'm going to open it up on the floor for any additions or subtractions. I'll open it up first for, well, the president goes in, so I guess it would be the first vice. As a whole? Okay, well, but anyone like to add a name to the slate of officers? Now's your chance. If not, I will close the floor. Now we're at installation of officers. Now I ask everyone to come forward. Okay, we need a motion to elect. Do I hear a motion? It's been moved and properly second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Now I can ask everybody to come forward. I've been trying to do that ladies 3 times. All officers, please come forward. In a line up.
Where we going, Kate?
Right there, in front of the dais.
And the new board officers who have not been sworn in, who were up for election.
Take the hugs are done, so here, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I'm going to give you the oath of the VACo oath of office. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution and the laws of the United States,
the Constitution and the laws of the United States,
the Constitution and the laws of the Commonwealth of Virginia,
the Constitution and the laws of the Commonwealth of Virginia,
and the bylaws of the Virginia Association of Counties,
and the bylaws of the Virginia Association of Counties,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge all duties incumbent upon me
discharge all duties incumbent upon me
as an officer or director
as an officer or director
of the Virginia Association of Counties,
of the Virginia Association of Counties,
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Good morning. Thank you. I'm truly honored to be chosen as your president. This association has supported me as I have tried to serve the citizens of my county. And I promise to do everything I can to make sure that it supports you as well. First off, I want to say a few words of thanks to some important people. I'd like to say thanks to my wife for 36 years of supporting me. She's been my rock, my friend, and I love her to death. And I also want to thank my fellow Board of Supervisor members for showing me the support over the last 5 years and for their chairman of the board. I also want to thank Sherrin Alsop for her leadership this year. Sherrin, you've been a strong voice for VACo, and even a broken leg couldn't stop you from fighting for Virginia counties. I also want to thank the staff, the VACo staff, for everything they do to help us be informed advocates for our counties. As many of you know, I serve on the Wythe County Board of Supervisors, and I lived in Wythe County for the past 39 years. But I grew up in Grayson County, where I lived there until I joined the Army. Rural Virginia is especially close to my heart, and it's important to me that the rural perspective is heard in VACo. That's why I volunteered to serve on the Environmental and Agricultural Steering Committee as soon as I was elected and got involved with the association. What's been so valuable to me about VACo, though, is how much I've been able to learn by working with other supervisors across the state. We might be hundreds of miles apart, but what we have in common between us, under the surface, you might find we all are wrestling with the same concerns. How we give our school children the best possible start in life. How do we prepare our communities for the economy of the future? And how do we raise the revenue we need to provide all these things in the fairest possible way to our residents? The conversations we have among ourselves as local officials about these issues are so critical. And at VACo, all of our different voices can be heard. VACo also brings us together to speak as one voice when we need to advocate for what we feel is best for our communities. As some of you know, I've made many trips to Richmond since I've been on the Board of Supervisors who work on legislation, and VACo has been there to support me 100%. And though we don't always prevail, we make our voices heard in the debate over the future of our Commonwealth. As your president, my priorities are your priorities. Full state funding for a strong K-12 system that prepares our young people to succeed. Economic vitality for all communities in the Commonwealth. And a fair way for counties to raise necessary revenue that places us on a level playing field with our cities and town colleagues. These are goals that I know we share, urban, suburban, and rural counties alike. And they are the values vital to the future success of our communities and our state. I promise to do the best I can do to be your voice this year. It is an honor and a privilege to serve as your president, and I look forward to working with all of you to help all counties succeed and prosper. Thank you. And now I would like Sherrin to come up, please. We have a few things of appreciation for you and your service to the VACo. Sherrin, here is a plaque and a gavel and a small thanks, and I want to thank you for your service. And you've done a wonderful job this year. And I want everybody to give Sherrin another round. Plaque of presidents that will be hanging in the VACo here.
Great. Thank you all so much.
And now, before we go into our closing session, we'll take a 10-minute break. Okay, first of all, I have a motion to adjourn the business meeting. Have a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, now we'll take a 10-minute break.